Against America, plain and simple. It's Joe Biden against everything we stand for, against everything that makes us strong, proud, and prosperous. It's Joe Biden against American exceptionalism, how quickly we've lost our wealth, our pride in our country, and our hope. It's Joe Biden against America. That's the only way to explain this. That's the only way I can explain how hard and how fast we've fallen. And now the question is, why? Is the economy being destroyed on purpose? Are gas prices high on purpose? Are police being downsized, delegitimized on purpose? Is the left taking our freedoms inch by inch for an ultimate purpose? Why is the left so afraid of opposing opinions and discourse? Every move they make shows how terrified they are of losing power, of being exposed. With every passing moment, it's Joe Biden against America. Why make us poor? Why make food and the basics we need to survive so difficult to get? Why force Americans to make a choice between paying their rent and fueling up their cars? Why push an unattainable, unrealistic Green New Deal agenda at the expense of so many Americans? Why embarrass our country on a global stage, befriend our adversaries? I know why. Well, it's Joe Biden against America. And I understand why. Because when we have less, we need them more. When we have less, we rely on government more. And that makes them more powerful. When we can't defend ourselves because they've taken our guns and our Second Amendment constitutional right to bear arms, keep and bear arms, then we rely on others to do it for us. If we can't feed or clothe ourselves, we rely on government to help us. It was too much for them that we were growing more independent from foreign powers, from foreign oil and products. It was too much for them that our economy was booming and still growing and recovering despite a crippling pandemic. And Donald Trump, well, he warned us.
Before I took office, there were a lot of folks out there making some pretty bold predictions about how things would turn out. You might remember some of the predictions.
They're coming for your guns, they're coming for your jobs, and they're coming for your freedom. They hate American energy, and Joe Biden will shut it all down. He's going to.
That if I became president,
Biden's elected, he will wipe out your energy industry.
Another prediction, that is my favorite one, I must add, is that if I got elected,
Gas prices going $5, $6, $7 for a gallon.
Yeah. Our oil independence, our wealth, our medical freedoms, the right to raise our children the way we want to. Our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, they're brazenly, openly coming after our free will, our freedoms. Well, if they come after one of our rights, they're going to try and come after them all. It's Joe Biden against America because it's just unimaginable that our downfall would be so swift, so all-encompassing, and so mighty. His broski, his partner in bromance, Barack Obama, gave birth to the notion of going against America, and he passed the baton into Joe Biden's cold, frail, feeble hands. Their little plan to pass the baton to Hillary Clinton backfired, didn't it? They underestimated America's disdain for lying Hillary, didn't they? Shady Hillary was supposed to be the next in line to sit on the throne of lies, and Hillary was going to continue Obama's destruction of America, but voters denied Hillary in 2016 because she's shady, she's dishonest, and she's bad at every job she's ever had.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Gotta love that sound. I love that soundbite. And happy birthday, by the way, to number 45. We salute you, President Donald Trump, and thank you for making sure we didn't have to have and endure a President Hillary. Because aside from the facts that she's broken laws, no one wanted her anywhere near that White House because it essentially amounted to a third term for Barack Obama, an extension of the Obama presidency. But alas, one man came along, started a movement to make America great again, and he won. And he did, despite their efforts to push a massive Russia collusion lie through their friends and propaganda communist news outlets. Despite Hillary spying on the Trump campaign, Hillary did not come through. But now we're seeing exactly what a third-term Obama looks like. After 4 years of American prosperity and greatness, they propped up a feeble Joe Biden. hid a destructive story about his baby boy Hunter, and managed to place an over-the-hill, hardly there Joe, and now it's Joe Biden against America. Crime across our cities, inflation ravaging incomes, porous, dangerous producing borders, bad deals with terrorist countries, record high inflation not seen in more than 40 years, the highest gas prices in America ever. If Americans wanted another Obama presidency and the destruction of America, he said it, it's here. It's Joe Biden against America. Joe Biden, whose most notable features are his foot and his mouth and the unique, very entertaining way in which he fuses both of those things together. Like in 2007, when Senator Biden praised Barack Obama in his own special way.
The first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
Clean and articulate.
The U.S. economy could grow faster.
Gave birth to Biden's ongoing train wreck of gaffes, one of the many examples of what happens when Biden goes off the script that Obama crafts for him. But the main script is this one: the destruction of America, the destruction of our values and what makes us so great. Even Barack Obama knew it all along in the crapper he was putting us under Joe Biden when he said, quote, "Don't underestimate Joe's ability to F things up." And he used the whole F word. Joe Biden doesn't want a strong and independent and exceptional America. It's Joe Biden against America in every move, decision, and backbreaking policy proves it. Why else would gas prices be at their highest level ever with no solution in sight? Why else would Joe Biden and his leftist propaganda league spend so many months lying and defying inflation, rather than spending that time looking for solutions, anything? Instead, he ignored the signs of inflation and shamelessly hawked his bogus Build Back Better socialist agenda. Why didn't he know about the impending baby formula shortage and do nothing about it for weeks and weeks, sending panicked parents driving around cities, crossing state borders, maybe even into Mexico, looking for baby formula, guzzling gas and money to try and find the food their infants so desperately need? It's Joe Biden, Joe Obama against America. Why else would Joe Obama push so hard to vaccinate everyone and make us even sicker? Why do we still have a supply chain horror and empty shelves? Why is crime only getting worse while Biden's leftist commanders in blue cities and states diminish police forces and hobnob with liberal elites while ignoring crime? Why is anyone who stands against the left, any Republican, any Trump supporter, anyone who even thinks about dissent is an enemy of the state, not only embarrassed and shunned and canceled, but their freedoms stripped away now and maybe forever? Because it's Joe Biden, Joe Obama against America. Why else would he allow young women who strive their whole lives for a spot on the swim team to lose that spot to a biological man with a proven medical, scientific advantage over every single competitor? Why is Biden allowing dreams to be crushed? Why does Biden hate women? We are children subject. Why are children subject to confusing notions of gender and sexualization in secret without parents knowing? Why does this happen in schools? Taxpayer-funded schools where teachers actually tell children that their parents are the enemy. No sooner than Elon Musk came out to rescue us from the censorship and silencing of conservative voices on Twitter, did they coincidentally come rallying back with their Ministry of Truth, their highly misguided but also highly obvious attempt to counter the rescue of our freedom of speech. It's Joe Biden, it's Joe Obama against America. Why else would someone leak a draft of a crucial Supreme Court decision to the press and then sit back and eat popcorn and ice cream as the George Soros-funded Antifa, Antifa Army marches outside the Supreme Court justices' homes illegally? And Joe Biden outright encourages it and supports it. It's Joe Biden, Joe Obama against America. Why else would we turn our children against their own country, make them feel bad about the color of their skin they were born in, make small children feel responsible for something they had nothing to do with generations before them? And what's worse, why would we continue to expose our small children to deranged sexual behavior they're far too young to understand, with sexual slogans lit up on the walls behind them? It's Joe Biden against America, lurking in the dark corners of the D.C. swamp. The left looking to peddle a narrative about the right to serve their agenda, to smear you, conservative voters who believe in freedom and their agenda since Barack Obama took office back in January of 2009 was always there to change the country and for the worse.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
Well, yeah, he said it and he meant it. Obama, Hillary, Biden, the Dems intent on destroying a winning formula. It's Biden against America. Why else would Joe Biden use force and fear to control Americans? What you read, what you write, what you say, how you live, what you're allowed to publish, what you're allowed to post on social media. It's the only thing that makes sense. Make them fear. Make people in cities think twice about going outside for fear of being robbed, assaulted, or even killed. And all the while push for fewer cops in the streets, leniency for repeat criminals, even letting illegal migrants with criminal records stay, letting them back onto our streets. Force and fear. Joe's got you covered. It's Joe Biden against America. Americans are paying for bad policies at the pump and in stores. Americans are paying for bad policies with our safety and our lives. Americans are paying for bad policy with children's innocence. We don't want skyrocketing inflation stemming from trillions and trillions of dollars in wasteful spending that steals out from our wallets. We don't want an economy that's stuck in reverse. We don't want more crime on our streets and more dead police officers. We don't want a country that's ashamed of itself and afraid to stand up for itself. And we don't want a president who's not so much leading from behind as sleeping and napping from behind. Americans deserve to emerge stronger from crisis after crisis that Joe Biden has worsened, created, and both. Americans want children to succeed and have the best shot at the best life. That's why the Republican Party fights for our kids' education. Stop bringing your politics and your agenda into our classrooms, Joe, and stop trying to take the power and control away from parents. And we stand for ending curriculum that teaches discrimination. It tells kids that some of them are oppressors and some of them are victims simply because of the color of their skin. Americans deserve an economy with stocked store shelves, where their paychecks go further, an America where work beats welfare, and where small businesses can become a big deal. That's what's called capitalism, by the way, and that, by the way, is the only system that can repair our economy. Americans also deserve a government that doesn't just throw money at everything, except for much-needed police. This country's families know better than the swampy politicians about how to spend their own money. Republicans do not stand for the left's current socialist experiment. We are already seeing the disastrous results of that, but thanks, but no thanks, Joe Obama. And every American deserves to walk down the street without fear, with support for police, not calls to defund them. And Americans deserve strong leaders on the world stage who do not kowtow to dictators, begging them, bowing to them for more oil. And we should actually produce our own oil. The left is trying to emulate the most stifling governments in the world, stifling liberty, stifling opportunity and free speech. There's no place for that here. While the left concerns itself with what bathroom people should use, the right is concerned with keeping children safe. It's Joe Biden, Joe Obama against America. Well, we have a message for them. We're here. We are against rampant crime in our cities. We are against an open southern border just so you can deplete our own resources. We are against drag shows for children just so you can support a progressive trans agenda. We're against paying upwards of $5 a gallon for gas, just so you can satisfy a Davos-pleasing green agenda. We're against political witch hunts just because you're mad that Donald Trump prevented shady Hillary from ascending the throne of lies. And we're against the stifling free speech under the guise of so-called disinformation just to cover your failures. It's Joe Biden against America, and we're losing for now. But make no mistake about it, folks. They will lose the fight. We are losing right now, but not for long. Not if I, not if we, not if you have anything to say about it and vote for it.